Hello, Forristicat here. Today I want to discuss a television show called The X-Files. I've been going through the X-Files episodes slowly. When I was young, I remember I just used to watch one episode here, one episode there. A couple of the sort of main episodes which were really the cornerstone of the mythology of the whole series, which sort of took it out of context a bit, I guess, because I didn't really sort of look at the other TV episodes in between. So I saw, the Dwayne Barry episodes and when Scully, of course, gets abducted by aliens. And one time on eBay, I saw one person selling the whole damn collection of the X-Files. So I thought, sweet, I'm going to buy them. And now, since there's a little bit of downtime in between TV shows, even though Breaking Bad is coming back in 2 weeks, I'm slowly starting to finally make my way through the X-Files collection. And what can I say? Like, I'm aware that the season 1, 2, 3, and then from there that's its peak, and then after that it goes down. Much is the case with many TV series these days. However, I can really understand the whole cult following, which has came about as a result of these first couple of seasons at least. So, even though this has probably been said before, I'm just going to reiterate the points quickly. So, of course, chemistry is important with certain actors. Like you see that on Game of Thrones, in between our two main characters of in Homeland, and it's no exception here. That you've got Duchovny and Anderson really playing very well off each other. Coupled that with very good writing, and I'm surprised to see a couple of writers from different areas, like Vince Gilligan from Breaking Bad fame and Howard Gordon from 24 fame now. And what really impresses me about the X-Files, at least in this first couple of seasons, I'm only up to like season 2, episode 20 or something, is the fact that these episodes feel very well self-contained and like a movie. And I think that for any episode to take you down like a rabbit hole, insofar as that you get sucked into the atmosphere and the mythology and the whole vibe of one particular episode, and you start to sort of forget about all the other episodes. I guess it's a good or a bad thing if it's not like a major mythology episodes. Obviously, they can ignore the smoking man and the government cover up of aliens and stuff like that. But for example, this episode I watched last night, how they get taken on board a ship, and like a floating ship in water, and then they find out that salt is causing them to age and stuff like that. It's very, every episode is a little bit different, but the writing is a very high standard, so I'm impressed by that. And what I'm also impressed about, and of course this is another point that has been mentioned a lot, is the fact that they strike a very good balance between science and sort of faith, or Mulder's sort of take on the whole thing. And it never sort of pushes it in your face saying, believe this, believe that. It sort of makes you decide upon certain episodes, what have you. So I like how they leave some episodes up in the air, allowing you to make your own conclusions. And it's very smart, because just when you think that it's like wow, that Scully, there's no explanation for this, it has to be like a time travel slip or something like that. At the last second, a curveball will happen, and the explanation will actually be scientific as far as the show is concerned. It's like a scientific reason, and you're like, wow, that's interesting. And then sometimes, of course, the reverse happens. So it's like, oh, this is such, obviously it's like a scientific reason. There's no other explanation behind it. Then a curveball will come in, and something will happen which doesn't add up to all the other sort of factors in this scientific explanation for what happened, and the only other explanation you deduce is, it must have been something paranormal. And I think that's a really good thing to sort of have these dual facets playing constantly without really jamming in your face to side with one or the other. So in effect, you actually become like Mulder and Scully, deducing your own conclusions at the end of the episode. And some of these episodes actually get pretty deep, like touching on things like life after death, and Scully's father, of course, his sister, Mulder's sister, getting abducted by aliens. And it's really fun to see them play off each other, especially when, as I was saying, like there cannot be any sort of like scientific explanation for something, and you're just left there to look at sort of Scully's reactions as to like, wow, how can she explain this? And then likewise, with Mulder, seeing Mulder's disappointment, I guess, in a way that this actually is not something crazy like aliens, is something more down to earth, so to speak, in terms of like a scientific resolution to a case, and that's really smart. I think those are sort of the main things I can say about the X-Files. Like, the writing's very good, it's very intriguing, it's very interesting, and like I said, so much happens in these episodes that TV episodes nowadays, like, the scope of what gets covered is very like minute. Like, it doesn't really go into as much detail as the X-Files. So normally, like, a TV show might have like this much of explanation or mythos or something. The X-Files seems to have it extended by that much, where, you know, TV is like this much, now you've got that part, and then you've got all these other interesting plot points just in one episode. And I think that is an indication of that good writing style which is in the X-Files, which I think, you know, one, that like everyone got behind and got into it and wanted to see what would happen, you know, between these two amazing characters. And it's cool seeing them at like Comic-Con, you know, Gillian and David sort of hanging together like two old agents, and actually getting a little bit older for real this time. But nevertheless, yeah, I haven't watched all the X-Files episodes, but I just want to put my thoughts out there. I think that the X-Files can't be ignored in terms of, you know, one of my videos up here. So yeah, definitely, you know, I'm preaching to, you know, the priest here. But yeah, check out X-Files if you haven't. Obviously, it's a very good TV show. Getting a little bit older now, but nevertheless, these first couple of seasons are, you know, really making me intrigued. And I'm going to keep my eye out for the truth, because I'm sure it is out there. Alright guys, that's it. Short one, Forristicat out.